Hi everyone. January is pretty much over. The month has come and gone with a wimp of an eye, pretty much. It's amazing how time flies, right? And with it, we can pretty much say I was correct on most occasions, but I didn't account for the fact that Gumi would just split up the tag units as they did. So no dark Fina and Sol, for example, although there are story events, so that was pretty much expected. No lightning, etc. Well, while we're getting Laswell and Reagan next week on Thursday, we are missing quite a few tag units so far, and I truly believe we will see most of them in February. So yeah, again, this month, the February month that is highly dependent on what the first event is going to be. And let's talk about the first one, which is obviously the Chinese New Year's units. Chinese New Year this year in 2021 is on February 12th. And Gumi likes to start these holiday events a week earlier. For example, the Christmas event started the week before Christmas. The Halloween event with Ibarra release started a week before Halloween. So it's very fair to assume that the Chinese New Year event is going to start on February 4th, pretty much in 2 weeks. And above you can see a few examples of Chinese New Year units we've gotten so far. We've got Xuanwu, Ling, etc. I've also got Cho, so there's a few units already released, and we might see an actual Near Vision unit on February 4th. But it's more likely we'll be seeing Near Vision Awakened units for the units above that you can see, and I will talk about this more in the NBA video, which is coming on Tuesday. Yeah, it should be Tuesday. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say because we have literally no information about the Near Vision unit. What I do like to stress though is that none of the units we'll be getting in the next 3 months or so has undead killers. Most of them are the fairly standard things. Human, dragons, beasts, etc. So my prediction would be that the Chinese New Year Near Vision that we might be getting has undead killers. And that'd be pretty funny because that would play right into this Dark Visions with Dark Anima, who is an undead boss. But we'll see. Fingers crossed that we don't get an undead Near Vision unit for Chinese New Year. Because I'm not planning on pulling on this banner at all, not even for the Near Vision Awakened units, unless they are so meta that you cannot miss out on them. But we'll see. That's pretty much all there is regarding the Chinese New Year units. It's all speculation, but I'm very sure we'll be getting them in 2 weeks from now. Alright, next up, same thing, Valentine's units. Valentine's, as per usual, on February 14th. We've gotten a few units last year, if I'm not mistaken. Signacio, Seacard, and Ignacio, for example, I believe. And again, we might see a new unit, but it's highly unlikely. It really depends whether we are getting one for Chinese New Year, because I believe we've never seen 2 global exclusive units back to back. Or I think we did last year then, right? With Signacio and Xuanwu. Well, but I don't think we're gonna see a new Near Vision unit. It's more likely that, if anything, we are going to see a new Near Vision unit for the Chinese New Year banner and have just a recap for Valentine's, pretty much. But we'll see. There might be Near Vision Awakened for the units above. Like, Signacio would make a lot of sense. They are technically a tag unit. It's 2 units, so might as well make them a tag unit in a Near Vision Awakened form, right? But yeah, it all depends pretty much what's coming after this Valentine's unit is all depending on what kind of event the Chinese New Year event is going to be. Me personally, I believe it's going to be a wave battle event, just like it was on Halloween or Christmas. But if the Chinese New Year units or New Vision unit is actually a story unit, such as Elena, no, not Elena, but Yoshikiri was a story event unit, for example, we might not see the next unit or tag unit I'll be talking about, and that is Dark Fina Sol. Dark Fina Sol were released with a story event, and should the Chinese New Year be a story event, we will most certainly not see Dark Fina Sol unless they meaning Gumi, make another phasey move and just remove the story event and just release the unit themselves. That'd be, I'd hate it pretty much, but Gumi has a pretty good track record of really hating story events. I mean, they skip pretty much 3 or 4 story events to speed up until New Vision, so I guess that speaks volumes, right? And everything going forward, if you've seen my New Vision units for January, everything is going to be very, very familiar to you. So Dark Fina and Sol, their attack unit, they're magic attackers, pretty strong. Base form Fire, Shift form Earth magic attacker and LB finisher. Chaos Wave Awaken in base, Chaos Wave Awaken attack chains in their Brave Shift. Trust Master is 30% flat magic, 40% magic if they are wearing a rod, and 30% magic for wearing a whip. Super Trust Master is a rod with 198 magic, 50% equipment magic when single or dual wielding. Pretty much up to you what you're going to use. Vision card, base 100 HP, base 40 magic, level 10, 200 base HP, 90 base magic. Passive at 4 and 7, equally the same, 25 magic when wearing a rope and 25 when wearing a rod. So they are heavily focused on rods rather than whips, as you can see. And the level 10 passive, 30% fire, earth, dark resistance for FFBE units only. And I can already tell you, it's kind of I mean, it's 100% magic from 4 and 7 passives, so that's not too bad, but me personally, I really don't like these resistance level 10 passive. These are more, I feel like those are really free vision card passives rather than actual Neo Vision passives. But that might be me. So how good are they, right? They have a 135 Earth Imperil on their Brave Shift Limit Burst, which is crazy good if you're asking me. They are self-chaining. I believe all of you guys already have played around with some tags if you are using Rain and Fina, for example, so you know how the tag chaining works. They have a strong STMR. That is really good. They have the 70% increased damage against broken enemies, but please be aware that there is currently a bug which makes this whole break damage increase void, because Gumi has to update the game client for that, and the next game client update is due end of February. So that passive, you might as well delete it from the game until they update the client, which is probably the last week of February. I think it's dumb that Gumi doesn't fix this immediately, because it's one of the most important things about these tag units. It's their USP, unique selling point, that they have these passives that increase break damage by 70%. And what this also does is it pretty much outright postpones the release of some trials, namely Bahamut, for example, because Bahamut heavily relies on the break damage passive, for example. I think it's stupid, but oh well, it's Gumi. We've seen worse, I believe. What's also cool about Dark Fina and Sol is that they have 150% party buff Demon Killer available on turn 1. Super cool. They have really strong modifiers on their chaining abilities and 200 passive Demon Killer. Really cool. So they are already overcapping themselves with the buff, but as you might know already, 300% passive or 300% Demon Killer on their gearing plus the 150% Demon Killer from the buff. They all stack additively, so super good. The bad, well, as you might have noticed, tag chains really don't go well together with some chains such as Absolute Mirror of Equity, for example. So yeah, you better use them just to cap, I believe. Sadly, they only have a 15% physical and magical amp. However, It is a party buff, but we've got Phasy, and Phasy provides 25%, and it's limited to her LB, mind you, but it's unlimited, while Dark Fina and Sol only have 3 uses per battle for this, which is why I put this on the bad tab rather than on the good tab. I mean, it's good, 15% Earth Magic Amp, but compared to what we already have, I feel like it's not good enough. They also have no Fire Amp for the base form, although they're using Fire, so I don't know what happened there. And their Limit Burst is rather weak with 120% modifier. That begs the question, should you pull? Well, it actually depends, right? If you have New Vision Terra, you might want to consider skipping. And I don't feel like mages are really, or upcoming mage releases are that necessary. We've got Terra, we've got Draconian Princess Fina, which I'll be talking about in the Neo Vision Awakened video on Tuesday. We are getting Physalis, and later on, that might be May, June-ish, we'll be getting Luna Freya, who demolishes Terra's damage, for example. She's like almost twice the amount of damage Terra deals. And that pretty much begs the question, why would you pull for mages anymore, right? So make your choices. I wouldn't pull for any mage anymore other than the heavy evoke finishers. That's my go-to plan right now. So I personally, I'll be skipping Dark Fina and Sol. But anyways, their burst potential is lower than other units. Laswell and Reagan, for example, they have 50% more damage. And their usefulness in Dark Visions rather dwindles quickly unless you really want to make sure you have the 135 Earth Emperor, right? They are pretty good for single target damage if you want to use them. But again, if you have New Vision Terra, Draconian Princess Fina, Physalis, for example, why would you bring any other mage? Just have the 3 aforementioned chain in Dark Visions. We are strictly talking about Dark Visions here. You would just do a triple AR chain, have Terra, Fina, Draconian Princess Fina, or Physalis, just LB cap it, and you'd be done. That'd be cap damage. Easy peasy. Yeah, so all in all, they are a strong tag mage unit, but they're limited due to the element lock. And again, they're no evoke finisher. Next up, this caused a little bit, well, a hiccup on my side. They were a free unit on the JP server, Charlotte and Physalis, that is. However, I should also mention they came with the banner that we have right now. So they were attached to the Rain and Fina tag unit banner. They were for free. You just got them for playing the game, and we didn't. This begs the question, are we going to have to pay for them? Do we have to pull for them separately, or will we get them for free in February, sorry. February. And I'll be talking about this in just a second, so let's go through their stuff, right? Trustmaster, 20% attack when equipped with a sword, same amount, 20% attack when equipped with a gun, and 50% equipment attack when dual wielding. That is a materia, Trustmaster materia. Their Super Trustmaster is a gun with 160 attack, 28 defense, 36 spirit. It provides 30% MP increase and 3% MP recovery per turn. Kind of, right? You guys can pretty much see that this is bad all around, but again, free unit, right? Can't complain about that. Level 1, Vision Card passive. Level 1, 30% base attack. Level 10, 70 base attack. Passive, 25 attack with sword, 25 attack with gun. Same applies to level 7. And at level 10 passive, you get 20% flat attack if you're using FFBE units. In the base form, they are pretty much debuff an attacker. In the shift form, light attacker. But what I've seen in most JP videos from other YouTubers, they're basically using them for tag chains, and that's pretty much it. So they're chaining bolting strike and base, bolting strike and tag and shift. That's it. So if you want them, if you have to, well, let's first of all, how good are they? Right, they have 60% general mitigation, although 1 use per battle. That begs the question: why would you use this? honestly. Self-chaining via tag, the bad. STMR and TMR rather weak. Worst vision card I've seen to date, pretty much. They only have 75% breaks to attack and magic, but nothing else. Very low damage, but I guess you'd use them anyway just for chaining via tag and have someone else cap. That's pretty much all there is to them, I guess. They have no self 300 attack buff, and well, again, chaining tag with any other chain is pretty bad. So yeah, should you pull? Again, if they have 3 unit, you're not gonna pull, obviously. But if you had to pull for them, I would say absolutely not. They are bad at everything they do, other than tag chaining, so do not pull. They might be 3 units, but global might never actually get them. That is an actual possibility at this point in time. We should have gotten them this week. We didn't. Please keep that in mind. Will they come with Dark Fina and what's her name? Is his name Sol? Maybe. Will they come with Akstar Cleome? Maybe. But nothing's guaranteed at this point, and yeah, I'm kind of concerned that we might actually never see these units. And it'd be bad. Skipping any Neovision, I feel like, is bad. We've sped up the whole schedule just to arrive at Neovisions to only skip another Neovision unit. I feel that's a bad idea. So if anything, I would guess they'll be coming with Akstar Cleome. And I don't even know how they are going to do Akstar Cleome, to be honest. They had, if I'm not mistaken, they had no event on their own. Or did they? I'm not sure, but if anything, they might come with Akstar Cleome. That's my best guess. So, as I already mentioned them, let's talk about Akstar Cleome. Absolute minute of equity in base, ice physical finisher, and in Brave Shift form, tag unit, and dark physical finisher. Their Trustmaster is a materia, 70% attack with katanas, 30% increased LB damage. Really good, if you're asking me. The Super Trustmaster is a katana, 200 though. Please make sure that you notice that. 207 attack, super high. 1.05 to 1.55x variance, 50% human killer and 50% LB damage. So this Super Trustmaster is stacked, as you can see. It's super high attack, killers and LB damage. That is pretty good. Even for a 200 weapon, it is super good on themselves especially. And yeah, the vision card, 40 base attack, 90 base attack at level 10. Passives, level 4 and 7, both grant 40% attack with a katana each. And the level 10 passive, 50 equipment attack and 25 accuracy when single wielding, and limited to FFBE units only. Pretty good vision card. I hope I also said this in the how good are they? Whoops, that is too far away. Sorry for the hiccup. That was not supposed to happen. Okay. So how good are they? Self-chaining, obviously. They have a very good Trustmaster and super strong Super Trustmaster. Again, 70% increased damage against broken enemies. Please keep in mind, this might not be fixed when they're coming. They have a 150 human killer party buff available on turn 1. Although one should state, if you want a super high human killer, you might use Starlight Elena. She has 200%. But it is a party buff, so you don't need Mastermind Zorn, which might be a positive thing. But Mastermind Zorn does so many other things. And as long as we don't have party buff imbues, you would probably still use Mastermind Zorn. Yes, or they have an absurd turn 5 Dark Burst damage in shift form. It is only very slightly weaker than Laswell and Reagan, but their what's it called? Sustained damage is higher, much higher than Laswell and Reagan. The bad things, again, tag chains, right? Hard to chain with. They only have a 15% ice and dark physical magic amp. It is a party buff. Again, I'd prefer more, but they are one of the few ones that actually provide this party buff or the amp for both elements, 3 uses per battle. While the buff itself is good, I feel like 15% is a little bit too little, especially considering that Bards, who is going to be a New Vision Awakened, has 40% wind amp. Why can't these tech units have this amount? They have Instrument in Peril on a modifier boost. I don't know why you would use an Instrument, or why they have Instrument in Peril. I still believe this is an oversight. But, oh well. And they have Katana in Peril on their Limit Burst. Unless you want to use Shadow. For the Katana and Peril, they also provide this on the Limit Burst, so it's pretty cool. So that means, should you pull? Technically, yes, especially if you skipped Laswell and Reagan. They have the highest sustained damage, and yeah, they have a strong Limit Burst. Although their Limit Burst damage is lower than Laswell and Reagan, so it's pretty much up to you, right? If you like Akstar, if you like Cleome, you might as well go for them. They have really good damage. They have Katana in Peril. While most people use swords or rods, for example, Katanas are the second best thing, I believe. And thus, meaning Katana in Peril is pretty useful, unless you're using New Vision Awakened Shadow. He also provides Katana in Peril. So, all in all, if you didn't pull on Laswell and Reagan, you'll have a second chance at getting a super strong meta DPS unit with Akstar Cleome. And since they specialize on human killing, they are very good for the Ashura trial. Don't forget about that. But regarding Dark Visions, I wouldn't pull for them because their Limit Burst is slightly lower than Laswell and Reagan, and Laswell and Reagan are free to use any element because their Brave Shift Limit Burst is imbuable, while Akstar Cleome is not. And New Vision Lightning, honestly, I just had or included her because we might get her, but honestly, I believe she's a March unit. Me personally, I have I'm 0% sure, or 100% sure that we're not getting her in February. I truly believe she's a March unit, but we'll see. I just included her in this because we might get her. If Gumi, for example, for whatever reason skips Doug, Fina and Sol because they're also a story event, which might be the Chinese New Year guys, we'll see. But anyway, New Vision Lightning. Many people are looking forward to her, and the reason is not only because her cool sprite, but also her super Trust Master. Let's get that right out of the way. It increases the chain mod cap by 100%. So if you have a true dual hand unit, instead of the usual 4x chain cap, they will have 5x chain cap. That's really sweet. Her Trust Master reward is a heavy shield with 50 attack, defense, magic and spirit, and increases 50% attack, equipment attack and magic when single wielding any weapon. Version card, 40 attack and a base attack and base magic at level 1, at level 10, 80 base magic and attack. Passive, level 4, 50% attack magic when equipped with a light or heavy shield. Same applies to level 7. And at level 10, 50% equipment attack magic when single wielding any weapon. And this only applies to Final Fantasy XIII, 13-2, and Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII units. That's basically New Vision Lightning, and Radiant Lightning at this point in time. We might get, I believe we are getting Sarah down the line. We might get Hope sometime, maybe never. But yeah, her base form, she's the lightning attacker and supporter. She chains Absolute Mirror of Equity and Bolting Strike. In her brave form, she's a magic chainer and LB finisher, and chains Bolting Strike in Brave Shift. How good is she? She's got an absurdly good STMR, which, for example, is best in slot for Luna Freya. And with this Super Trust Master, Luna Freya is crazy good. So if you're pulling for her, you're pretty much pulling for future-proof units rather than having a top-notch DPSer, because Lightning isn't a super top-notch DPSer. She's more of a jack of all trades, if you want, so to speak. She has an absolutely good STMR, like I said, 85% break and especially 90% spirit break on limit burst. So for any mage stage, you pretty much want to include Near Vision Lightning just for a 90% SPR break. She is the only unit that provides the 90% SPR break, even though it's on her LB, but still, it's very strong. She has a party lightning imbue and 50% amp in one ability. Awesome. 2 stacks of Mirage on base limit burst, party buff, really nice. Vision card is only good for herself, really. And she has a 4 elements limit burst and only 2 imperils on the bad side of things. The 4 elements are fire, ice, lightning, and wind, and the 2 imperils are lightning and wind at 120. While the amp in one ability is cool, it's still only 15%. I will continue to criticize that until we finally get at least 20%. That is the sweet spot for me. And what's sad about her, she has passive killers, but she has no killer buffs. So yeah, no killers to spread to the team. Okay, so should you pull? Yes. Yes, please do. You will regret not pulling her, because for 2 things, or due to 2 things. 1, her STMR, 2, the 90% spirit break. Even though her damage is on the lower side of things, on par with Dark Fina Sol, her crazy good STMR makes up for it. Best case scenario is you get her 3 times, get the STMR 3 times, and put it on your best DPS, especially on those who are single wielding. Take, for example, Ibarra. I believe Ibarra in her base form, she is single wielding. You could give this to her and she'd deal a lot more damage. Give this to Luna Freya. She's going to deal absurd damage. So yeah, if you're lucky enough to get this more than once, you should get her STMR multiple times, because true dual hand units, they come more often now. Akstar and Cleome, for example, also profit from the STMR, because Akstar and Cleome are a true dual hand unit as well. So Near Vision Lightning is a good unit overall with decent sustained and burst DPS, but she mainly serves as STMR fodder from my point of view, that I should say. But she's also very good for trials. Less so maybe for Dark Visions, but we'll have to see about this. And again, I really want to stress, it's highly, highly, highly unlikely she's coming in February. It's very more likely so that she'll be coming in March. And that pretty much rounds up this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this was helpful information to you guys. And yeah, we'll see each other again on Tuesday for the Near Vision Awakened video. Have a nice Sunday. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.